Virgo, listen to me. They are thinking about you with this deep, heavy sadness right now, but there is something much more going on behind the scenes that they are terrified to admit. This isn't just ordinary missing you energy. This is a profound, soul-level regret. They are sitting in silence, realizing they made a colossal mistake, and the something more I'm seeing is a karmic shift that is about to completely shatter their illusion of control. They thought walking away or pulling back would give them peace, but it only gave them a haunting. Tell me where you are watching from in the comments right now, and make sure you subscribe, because the truth they are hiding is about to come out, and it changes everything. Virgo, the energy surrounding this specific person right now is incredibly dense. It feels like they are trapped in their own mind, caught in a loop of thoughts that they simply cannot turn off. When I look at their energy, I see someone who is projecting an image of being completely fine. To the outside world, they are going about their daily routine, maybe even overworking themselves or keeping their schedule impossibly full just to avoid sitting in silence. But behind closed doors, the moment the distractions fade, that deep, heavy sadness you felt, it's real. It is consuming them. They're drowning in the memory of you, and the emotional tension here is so thick it's almost suffocating. Here's the thing about this connection. It awakens something in them that they do not know how to process. You have a very specific, grounding, yet deeply magnetic energy, Virgo. You see right through people. You notice the details, the shifts in tone, the things they try to hide. And that terrified them. Because with you, they couldn't wear their usual masks. You saw their flaws, their insecurities, and the parts of themselves they have spent years trying to bury. Instead of feeling liberated by your acceptance, their ego panicked. They felt exposed. And so, they did what emotionally unavailable or avoidant people do. They created distance. They pulled back, thinking that putting space between you would reset their nervous system. But here is the emotional twist, the part they didn't anticipate. The distance didn't reset them. It broke them. I am picking up on a massive shift in their energy recently. They thought silence would bring them clarity, but it only brought them face to face with their own regret. Every time they try to convince themselves they made the right choice, a wave of profound sadness washes over them. It's this heavy, aching feeling in their chest. They look at their phone, they see your name, and their heart literally drops. They're fighting a war between their pride and their heart, and right now, their heart is losing badly. Why can't they let go? Because what you two share isn't just a casual fling or a surface-level attraction. This is a karmic tether. I'm seeing the imagery of two roots wrapped tightly around each other underground. Even if the branches are separated, the roots are still tangled. They feel this pull physically. They might be trying to date other people, or they might be throwing themselves into their career, but every new person they meet gets compared to you. And nobody measures up. You set a standard of authenticity and depth that they are currently incapable of matching, and that makes them feel incredibly inadequate. This is where the psychological sabotage kicks in. Because they feel they aren't good enough for you, or they feel they messed up the dynamic, they start to rationalize their absence. They tell themselves, they are better off without me, or I need to figure my own life out first. It's a classic avoidance tactic wrapped in a false sense of nobility. But the universe doesn't care about their excuses. The spiritual pressure on them right now is immense. I'm seeing a lot of 11:11s, 222s, and maybe even 555s popping up in their daily life. Synchronicities are following them everywhere, constantly reminding them of you. They can't escape the energetic signature of this connection. They're obsessing over the little things. They are replaying your last conversations in their head, analyzing every word you said, wondering if they missed a cue. They are looking at your social media, maybe not liking anything, but zooming in on your photos, looking for signs that you are moving on. And when they see you looking good, when they see you glowing, it triggers a massive spike of jealousy and panic. The thought of you giving your beautiful, nurturing, Virgo energy to someone else is making them physically sick. They want to reach out. They type out messages and delete them. They draft texts saying, "I miss you," and then throw their phone across the room. But the tension is reaching a boiling point. The sadness they are feeling is transitioning into a desperate need for resolution. They are realizing that their pride is a very expensive thing to keep, and the cost is losing you. The emotional turn here is that their fear of vulnerability is finally being outweighed by their fear of losing you forever. They are standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at the consequences of their inaction. There's something more that I promised you in the beginning. It's this awakening. They are finally waking up to the fact that you are not just an option, you are the standard. And they are running out of time to realize it before the karmic window shifts. I need you to understand, Virgo, that their silence was never about your worth. It was entirely about their internal chaos. They looked into the mirror of your connection and didn't like the reflection of their own unhealed wounds. But the universe is forcing them to look now. The sadness they feel is the death of their ego, and it is making way for the truth. They are breaking down, and sometimes a complete emotional breakdown is the only way they will finally build the courage to do the right thing. They are feeling the phantom energy of you in their space. When they wake up in the middle of the night, that's when it hits them the hardest. The quiet of the night amplifies their thoughts. They wonder if you are thinking about them too. They wonder if you feel the same heavy sadness. And the answer, energetically, is yes. You are feeling it because your intuition is so highly tuned. You felt the shift before they even fully processed it themselves. You knew something was off, you knew they were pulling away, and your body reacted to the energetic withdrawal. But they are just now catching up to the emotional reality that your spirit already knew. Virgo, something shifted. I need you to really hear me on this, because the energy I'm picking up on right now is completely different from what it was even a few weeks ago. There was a moment, a very specific, almost cinematic moment, where everything cracked open for this person. And I don't mean they just had a bad day and thought about you. I mean something happened that shook them to their core and forced them to confront the truth they've been running from since this connection started. Here's what I'm seeing. They were going about their life, doing their usual thing, maybe even convincing themselves they were healing, moving forward, doing the work. And then, out of nowhere, something triggered them. For some of you, this was a dream. A vivid, emotionally overwhelming dream about you that felt so real they woke up with their heart pounding and tears on their face. For others, it was seeing something, a song, a place you went together, a specific scent, a mutual friend mentioning your name in passing, and it hit them like a freight train. The kind of hit where you physically can't breathe for a second. That's what happened to them. And this is the emotional turn I need you to sit with for a moment. Before this trigger, their sadness was passive. It was this low, humming ache they could ignore if they kept busy enough. But after this moment, the sadness became active. It became urgent. It became something they could no longer intellectualize or therapize away. They realized, maybe for the first time with full clarity, that what they feel for you isn't just attachment or nostalgia or comfort. It's love. Deep, terrifying, soul-level love. The kind that makes your hands shake when you think about it. The kind that makes you feel like you're losing your mind, because how can someone affect you this much? Now, the cards around this energy are showing me the Hermit reversed crashing into the Tower. And I don't want to get too technical here, but what that means emotionally is that their period of isolation, their self-imposed exile from this connection, is being violently interrupted. The Tower is the universe saying, no, you don't get to hide anymore. Everything they built to protect themselves from you, the walls, the narratives, the "I'm better off alone" story, is crumbling. And they are standing in the rubble, feeling exposed and raw and completely overwhelmed by how much they miss you. What they feel right now is so much heavier than sadness. Sadness was just the surface layer. Underneath that sadness is guilt. Deep, gnawing guilt about how they treated you, about the mixed signals, about the times they had the chance to show up and chose fear instead. They remember specific moments, maybe a conversation where you opened up and they shut down, or a time you needed reassurance and they went cold. Those memories are playing on repeat in their mind like a film they can't pause, and every time it replays, the guilt gets sharper. But here's where it gets even more intense, Virgo, because underneath the guilt is something they are almost afraid to name. It's devotion. They are realizing that you are not replaceable. Not even close. They could meet 100 people who check every box on paper, and none of them would make them feel the way you do when you simply walk into a room. Your energy is so specific, so precise, so deeply attuned to theirs that it feels like coming home. And they threw that away because they were scared of how much power you hold over their heart. I'm also picking up on this really interesting energy of them trying to spiritually understand what happened between you two. They are researching, reading, maybe looking into astrology, tarot, twin flames, soul contracts, whatever framework helps them make sense of why this connection won't release them. They are looking for signs that you are meant to be together because they need external validation before they trust their own heart. They keep seeing your birth date, your initials, numbers that are significant to your connection. The universe is literally spelling your name in their daily life, and they are starting to pay attention. And this is the part that I think will really resonate with you. They are angry at themselves. Not at you, never at you anymore. That phase is over. Any resentment or confusion they projected onto you has dissolved, and what's left is this raw, honest fury directed inward. They are mad at their own cowardice. They are frustrated with their patterns. They are looking in the mirror and asking, why do I sabotage the one good thing? And that self-confrontation? That's the real turning point. Because a person who is angry at themselves for losing you is a person who is about to do something about it. What they feel now can be summed up in one word: ready. Not perfectly healed, not fully figured out, not magically transformed into the ideal partner overnight, but ready. Ready to be honest. Ready to be uncomfortable. Ready to say the things they've been swallowing for months. They are rehearsing what they want to say to you. They are thinking about how to approach you without making it about their ego. They want to come to you with humility, with truth, with an apology that actually means something. They want to look you in the eyes and say, I was wrong, I was scared, and I have thought about you every single day since. But, and this is important, Virgo, there is something standing in the way. Something external that is creating friction and making them hesitate right when they are closest to breaking through. It's not about their feelings for you. Those are clearer than they've ever been. It's about a complication they didn't anticipate, an outside energy that is complicating their ability to move toward you cleanly. And I need to tell you about it because it directly affects what happens next. Let's talk about what actually changed, because something in your energy shifted, Virgo, and they felt it from miles away. You stopped waiting. You stopped checking their social media. You stopped analyzing their silence, and you started pouring that meticulous, beautiful, grounded Virgo energy back into yourself. You decided that your peace was more important than their confusion. And that is the exact moment they lost their mind. When you pulled your energy back, it created a vacuum they were not prepared to handle. They thought you would be sitting at home, pining for them, keeping the door wide open while they figured out their messy internal world. But instead, you started glowing. Maybe you took a trip, maybe you focused fiercely on your career, or maybe you just started radiating this unbothered, high-vibration peace. And when they caught a glimpse of that, maybe through a mutual friend, a random story view, or just by feeling the energetic shift in the ether, they felt a cold spike of absolute panic. Here is the first emotional turn they weren't prepared for. Your independence didn't make them feel relieved. It made them feel entirely replaceable, even though you are anything but. They realized in a flash of brutal clarity that your loyalty wasn't a given. It was a gift. And by stepping back, you silently communicated that you are perfectly capable of walking away for good. That single thought has been keeping them awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how they let the one person who truly saw them slip through their fingers. The universe is absolutely not letting them off the hook right now. I am picking up on intense spiritual timing surrounding this person. They are being bombarded with synchronicities that they can no longer ignore. They hear your song playing in a random store. They see your zodiac symbol, or numbers that align with your birth date, popping up on license plates, receipts, and clocks. They might even be dreaming of you with startling, vivid clarity, waking up with your scent still lingering in their mind. This isn't a coincidence. This is divine pressure. The universe is literally cornering them, forcing them to acknowledge that this connection is a karmic assignment they cannot just walk away from without facing the consequences. So, what do they feel right now? It's no longer just a vague, passive longing. It has crystallized into a desperate, active need for reconciliation. They are carrying around an unspoken confession that is literally burning a hole in their chest. They want to tell you that the distance was a massive mistake. They want to apologize for the ways they made you feel small, unseen, or uncertain. They know they owe you that truth, and the weight of that unspoken apology is becoming too heavy for their spirit to carry. But here is the twist, the part that makes their stomach drop. They are terrified it's too late. They look at how far you've come, how radiant and whole you are without them, and a dark, intrusive thought creeps in. What if I lost my chance? This fear is paralyzing them. It's the primary reason they haven't reached out just yet. They're scared that if they finally knock on your door, you won't answer. Or worse, you'll answer, but the warmth will be gone, replaced by a polite, impenetrable boundary. They're fighting a brutal internal battle between their pride and their truth. Their ego is whispering, wait a little longer, let them come to you, protect your image. But their soul is screaming, if you don't act now, you will lose the greatest love of your life. And for the first time, Virgo, their soul is winning. The old cycle of push and pull, of hot and cold, of them running and you chasing, that cycle is dead. It is buried. What is rising from the ashes is a raw, undeniable demand for healing. I'm seeing a distinct shift in their mindset from what if to what's next. They aren't just thinking about sending a casual, low-effort text to test the waters. They're thinking about a real conversation, a sit-down, a moment where they lay their cards on the table and offer you the commitment, the clarity, and the consistency you always deserved. They are realizing that grand, flashy gestures don't matter if the foundation is cracked, and they want to rebuild that foundation with you, brick by brick, with total transparency. And this is the beautiful, heartbreaking part. They are preparing to be completely vulnerable with you. For someone who has spent so much time building walls and hiding behind emotional immaturity, the idea of standing in front of you, defenseless, admitting their faults and their deepest fears, is terrifying. But they're willing to do it. Because the pain of living without you has finally, definitively surpassed the fear of facing you. They are ready to drop the act. They have the intention. They have the clarity. They have the deep, aching desire to make things right and to finally give you the love you deserve. But intention without action is just a dream, and right now, there is a specific, tangible complication standing between their intention and their action. It's an outside energy, a lingering fear, or a third-party dynamic that is acting as a temporary roadblock. And we need to look at exactly what this is, because it's the final hurdle they must clear before they cross the line back to you. Let's name the elephant in the room, Virgo, because there is an outside energy complicating this dynamic, and I need you to hear the truth about it. For some of you, this manifests as a third party. But let me be absolutely crystal clear. This is not a soulmate, and it is not a genuine threat to your connection. This is a distraction, a placeholder. This person is using this outside connection to numb the pain of missing you, to fill the void, to pretend they are moving on. But every time they are with them, they feel more profoundly alone. It is an energetic band-aid on a deep spiritual wound. They are sitting across from someone at a dinner table, laughing on cue, but their mind is entirely in another room with you. For others, the complication isn't a person at all. It's their own social circle or family. There are voices around them giving them fear-based, superficial advice. Just move on, they say. There are plenty of fish in the sea. But these people do not understand the karmic weight of what you two share. They don't see the invisible threads tying your souls together. This outside noise has been feeding their avoidance, giving them a false sense of permission to stay away. But here is the emotional turn. The universe is about to expose the falseness of this outside energy. A truth is going to come out, or a situation will unravel that shatters this distraction completely. When the smoke clears, they will be left with no place to hide, no excuses to lean on, and no one to blame but themselves. They will have to face the raw, unfiltered truth of their feelings for you. And that brings us to what happens next. The dam is going to break, Virgo. I am picking up on a very specific, imminent window of time. Within the next 3 to 6 weeks, or triggered by an upcoming astrological shift, perhaps a potent new moon or a Mercury station that demands communication, the silence will shatter. This will not be a casual, low-effort, hey, text sent at 2 a.m. This will be a deliberate, thought-out reach-out. They are going to ask to talk. They are going to request a moment of your time to clear the air. I am seeing the energy of the Ace of Swords surrounding this moment. That means sudden clarity, a cutting through of the bullshit, and a truthful conversation. They are going to confess. They are going to look at you, or type out the words, and admit that the distance was a colossal mistake. They will tell you that they were scared, that they didn't know how to handle the depth of what they felt, and that they have been carrying this heavy, suffocating sadness ever since they let you go. They might even bring up a highly specific, tiny memory, something you said or did months ago, to prove to you that they have been paying attention, that you have never truly left their mind. The return is imminent. But here's the catch. They're going to test the waters first. They will reach out cautiously, trying to gauge if the door is still open, or if you have already locked it and thrown away the key. Now listen to me very carefully. This is the most critical part of this entire reading. When they do reach out, your instinct, your beautiful, nurturing, fix-it Virgo instinct, will be to immediately soothe them. You will want to ease their guilt, to make them feel better, to bridge the gap and absorb their pain. I need you to resist that urge. Do not do this yet. You must protect your peace. You are not their rehabilitation center, and you are not responsible for healing the wounds they inflicted on themselves by walking away. You are the prize. Let them sit in the discomfort of their own making for a little while longer. When they do reach out, respond with grace, but with firm, unshakable boundaries. Let them earn their way back into your energy. You do not need to chase, you do not need to force, and you certainly do not need to lower your standards to accommodate their delayed awakening. Your power right now lies entirely in your stillness. You have already done the inner work. You have already leveled up. You have already proven that you can survive and thrive without them. Hold your ground. Let them come to you, and let them prove with consistent, tangible, everyday actions, not just pretty, emotional words, that they have actually done the work to be the partner you truly deserve. This connection has been a profound karmic lesson for both of you. They had to lose you to finally realize your immeasurable worth, and you had to walk away to remember your own. The deep sadness they feel right now is not a punishment. It is the catalyst for their ultimate awakening and return. But your healing, your joy, and your future do not depend on it. You are whole, you are powerful, and you are deeply, fiercely loved by the universe, with or without their apology. Take what resonates from this reading and leave the rest. Trust your intuition, Virgo, because it has been guiding you perfectly this entire time. It knew they were thinking of you, and it knows exactly what you need to do next. Thank you so much for watching, for holding space, and for trusting me with your energy today. I am sending you so much love, light, and absolute clarity. Until next time, take care of your beautiful heart.